everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
That Suge, he was giving y'all a allowance. I know he was giving Pac one. Was he giving y'all one?
If we was getting allowance, we was getting like $15,000 to $20,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes 50. Dog was getting 50,000 a month, and we was getting like 20 to 25,000 a month.
So the houses and cars was in his name, right?
Some of the cars was that the artist he had was in everybody else's name, but I was really putting shit in my name because I had license.
I heard that Dre, he didn't want to give Pac California Love.
That was Dre Baby right there, California Love. As you can hear how it sound, right? That was Dr. Dre Baby, but you know, like all of us, anytime it's album time for somebody, we got to give it up. You know what I'm saying? And how many songs Dre had on there? One? Plus the remix. He had one plus the remix would make one song. You know what I'm saying? But two songs because of the beat, and then plus you had to pay for that sample. That's a sample. You know what I'm saying? California Love is a sample. Ambitious of a Rider, no sample. Scandalous, no sample. Mad at You, DeBarge sample. Got My Mind Made Up, no sample. Ain't Nothing But a Gangsta Party. That's me on.
And y'all don't even know if y'all was around on them in them songs, and y'all listen to them, and you be like, "Damn, that was a classic time to be around." I don't think music is as prolific now as it was back then. Back then, music actually felt like something. Now it seems like music is come and go because back then it took a lot to make a hit record. Now all you have to have is a good catchy 10-second tune that catches on TikTok, but the rest of the music is ass. There are parts in songs from my day, back in my day, like, you know how many people remember the Usher Raymond rap? They call me USHERRAYMOND. Like, that wasn't even at the beginning of the song, but there's so many other parts to that song. And then you have songs like Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, Going Down Ain't Nothing But a Thing. But that song was a hit, but you know that was made by R. Kelly, and you know what he did. You know? Like it's something to all the music back from the 90s and early 2000s. And I think things got lost around the early 2000s when it was just like, let's see who can make the best hit. Then later on, people said, let's see who can make the most viral moment or the viral dance, especially around the pandemic time when TikTok was really blowing up. It was taking clips of songs and making 10-second dances, and those made songs hits. Those songs aren't actually hits because nobody knows any other part of that song but that one part. So yeah, music was different back then.
The hook. And I want to go back in and revise them credits on there too because they giving me a third on that song too. I should be getting 50% plus the hook, which is 10%. Tupac and them should be getting 20%. Snoop should be getting 20%. And I want my motherfucking name on that song. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm going back in there and to revise that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get it. Yeah, that's me. Like I said before, if I would have never made that song, you motherfuckers would have never heard it. You know what I'm saying? And I made the phrase up, ain't nothing but a gangster party. So whoever got a trademark, I'm coming after you.
That was you on the hook?
Yeah, ain't nothing but a gangster party. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean?
I know Dre, he had Can't See Me on All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, Can't See Me. We rapped on Can't See Me first, me and Corrupt. If you go online right now, put the Dog Pound, You Can't See Me, you'll find the first version that we did. And then Tupac came, and that's when we said, we're going to give you this song. We're going to take ourselves off and give you that song. So that's what we used to do. You know what I'm saying? If it's a hot person, we know going to take that.
When did you know personally that Dre was leaving Death Row?
We didn't know. We just heard that Dre gone. He out of here. You know what I'm saying? And Sam Sneed was left there like, huh? And they just, anybody that was with Dr. Dre was getting brutalized. From Tupac, Suge, and we used to be up in there strapped though, because we never knew what was going on. And that's when Tupac beat up Sam Sneed. You know what I'm saying? And it was vicious then, you know, just because he didn't have no West Coast on his song.
So you was there when that happened?
Yeah, he was getting that ass whooped. You know, we helped him out, pushed him out the door. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody really started getting into it with everybody after that. So we just go and push him out the door and we'll handle this and kick up the dust, you know what I'm saying? But me and Nate was in there strapped though. Only thing was on our mind was bust towards the door. We shooting towards the door. Boom, boom, boom. You know, run to the door, shoot. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, it was just so much gangster shit over there, man, you know.
You know what? One thing I heard about Death Row is like you didn't want to be over there and be passive. Like you didn't want it, the first sign of weakness, they was gonna mess with you, and they was gonna bully you and beat you up. Probably put a gun in your mouth. I even heard one story where they said they peed on somebody. I'm not sure about these stories, but it's just stories. But I'm pretty sure, based on the things that they said about what was going on, that this was happening. But the fact is, when Dad says him and Nate Dogg wasn't putting up with that crap, Mob James confirmed that Nate Dogg for sure wasn't the dude to mess with, and Daz was making the hits. Daz was putting the beats together. So if you mess with Daz and you don't have Dr. Dre no more, then you don't have Daz. And again, after Tupac died, Death Row never ever became another thing because they didn't have the sound, they didn't have the artists, and they didn't have Daz, Snoop, Tupac, Dr. Dre. Death Row became nothing. They had Corrupt, which Corrupt is a good artist, but they had what was her name? She was from like one of those groups like I don't want to say 702, but she was with one of them groups that kind of favored, like they kind of mimicked TLC. I forgot that name of that group, but I think her name was Natina Reed, Nina something. I don't know. But yeah, maybe I'm mixing up people's names and everything, but y'all know who I'm talking about. If you know, you know.
That's why I just, thank God I'm living and I have no complaints about anything but my music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard a few stories about Nate Dogg. I heard he was really with the shits.
Yeah, like I said, me and Nate Dogg was the enforcers of the Dog Pound. When it's time to kick some ass and put it down on the motherfuckers, me and Nate Dogg. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else just watching and looking. And then, you know, then the gang coming. You know what I'm saying? But us two are me kicking ass. We're kicking ass, taking names later. I was that little, but I was I was pushing the line.
So how did that even come up that he ain't have no West Coast rappers in his video? Like, how did that get brought up at the studio?
We watched the video. He said, if there ain't no West Coast motherfuckers in this video, we kicking your ass. And that's how I know Cool G Rap popped up in the video. And he was like, what? And had them people 6'9", you know, the dude that was married to Vivica Fox.
Yeah.
He had them and his group kick him in the ass. And, you know, we was like, damn, man, you know, that was fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? But Dre left Sam there in the middle of the, you know what I mean? But didn't tell nobody he was leaving. So imagine you coming into a party, hey, everybody, and don't know They looking at you like we finna jump your ass. You didn't know Dr. Dre out. It's a whole nother ball game. So, it was just, that was Suge Knight madness. You see where all that shit got him at now.
Karma, man.
And it's karma not over then. That's just the first beginning of that shit. It's always jail or death. Yeah. And to this day, he ain't never sued Tupac for that shit neither.
He could still sue the estate.
Yeah. He had a brain injury, all kind of shit from that shit. I got love for Sam Sneed. Influenced by Suge Knight, Death Row. You know what I mean? Motherfucker was doing anything. We call them crash dummies. Motherfucker do anything for a couple of dollars. $200, you getting your ass whooped.
Golly. Man, imagine suing Tupac's estate right now, man. Tupac's estate is really hurting, honestly, man, because they don't have the right people managing that money. Afeni's dead. I think his sister is still alive. Or maybe I don't think he doesn't have any children. And I want to say his sister is alive. That's the head of the estate. But listen, man, that money gonna run out soon. You know why? Because he never had the right people on it. Maybe in the future it might be worth a little bit, but it's not generational wealth like something that Snoop Dogg is building. It's not generational wealth like what Michael Jackson built. Tupac was one of the greatest artists of his time, but he'll die the brokest. He died the brokest rapper. He'll live on. His legacy will live on as the poorest artist ever with his influence. Like everybody thought Marvin Gaye was like one of the best people who died in his lane, but Tupac was bigger and died broker. Marvin Gaye's estate still makes money to this day. Tupac's estate makes nothing but album sales and spins from, that's because everybody got a hand in the pot when it comes to sampling his songs. When it comes to sampling his songs, Daz got a hand in the pot. Snoop got a hand in the pot. Death Row got a hand in the pot. Suge Knight got a hand in the pot. Everybody got a hand in the pot. So they're really you don't even talk to Tupac's estate when you want to sample one of his songs. So it's a sad situation that that's how the game was back in the day. They take from the artists. Artists come out nothing. And Joker said Snoop Dogg was soft back then. That's true, but he had a bunch of gangsters with him. And then Snoop was the biggest artist on the West Coast at the time. So him being the biggest artist on the West Coast, you can't fumble the bag. That's why Suge Knight was so mad when Snoop left, because Suge fumbled the bag. And Snoop had people that would stand up for him. Crazy situation.
Everyday people.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.